Hey, I want to dive directly into this topic today. The topic is based off of something I was reading the other day in a book by Napoleon Hill. And it was just talking about overcoming adversity. And I saw this and it just hit my spirit. And it goes like this. There was a story where there was a general where he knew for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that he was taking his group of soldiers into hostile territory. They had been on the sea for months. They were tired, they were exhausted. They would get to the point where they haven't even got there, they're almost ready to quit. But a general, once they got to the sea, he knew the mindset of everybody that was behind him. Everybody that was there, they were for him, but yet there was something in them that needed to drive them to a different level. So the general spoke to 15 of his guys and sent them back to the ships. But they ran back to the ships and lit the actual ship on fire, and they pushed them out into the sea. Then the general turned and addressed his people. He said, today, he said, we will either fight and win, or we'll perish. Retreat is not an option. That's got to be a mindset there. And guess what happened? They ran over that mountain. They went in, they addressed the enemy. They conquered the land, and they extended their kingdom. How many people are fighting adversity and they don't see it that way? You know, I was sitting there talking to my wife the other day, and she was explaining just how much God has done for us. And just to give you a brief story about something that was going on with my wife was pregnant with the twins. You know, all of a sudden one day, you know, I hear a scream, and I run into the room, and all of a sudden my wife is bleeding uncontrollably. She's about 4 months pregnant, 5 months pregnant, and she's bleeding uncontrollably. And, you know, first thing to come to mind is, oh man, she's aborting, the babies are dying. You know, all this stuff starts coming to your mind if you don't know God. I said, baby, I bind this attack in the name of Jesus. That is not what we think it is. I said, the babies are going to be fine. There's nothing wrong. I took her to the emergency room. We sat there for 2.5 hours. She still wouldn't stop bleeding. The doctor, at his own call, came in and said, I'm sorry, but your babies have aborted. And I looked at my wife. She looked at me. And I said, God has the last word, not man. I promise you our babies are going to be fine. And I took her home that night. 2 days later, we took her to her physician. And I said, hey, will you go ahead and check Nia? They checked Nia. He said, well, what's the problem? I said, this is what the doctor said in an emergency room. He said, no, that's not the case. The case is the babies had attached to the side. That's what was causing the blood to happen. The enemy was trying to get me to agree with his report, but God has the last word. It's overcoming adversity. And when you're at war, it's nothing fair about it. You've got to have that mindset. No matter what, I'm not going to stop. No matter what, I'm not going to quit. Giving up is not an option. Whatever God gave me to do, it's going to get done. I'm not going to make excuses. I want you to think on that. Until next time. May God bless you. May he keep you. May the wisdom and knowledge and understanding and revelation fall upon you. I'll see you next time. Jesus.